So yeah, this game is a bit different due to the minimizing load times that the Xbox 360 version and PS3 version has. So, without further ado, let's begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, speedrun. On Galaxy level, because traditionally, all runs of this game, and all the other Star Ocean games have been defaulted to Galaxy, because that's the default difficulty option that's there for all the Star Ocean games. And, well, if you guys want a break, this is it. The first 4 minutes of the game is a cutscene that you can't skip, so you guys are not yet ready for this run? Go ahead and take a bathroom break, because we've got 4 minutes. So, this game, in the storyline of the Star Ocean series, is the very first. It takes place around 20 years before the events of Star Ocean 1. This game is about to be a 10-year-old game, because the 10th anniversary for Star Ocean 4 is coming up in about, I think, 16 days, February 19th, 2009. But yeah, this game, I enjoy this game because there's a lot of refined battle mechanics. It's not as complex as Star Ocean to Land of Times, and it's pretty high-paced, lots of good mechanics, and the speedrun, we're going to be using almost every single piece of the battle mechanics for different parts of the game, because not every boss is going to have the same strategies, with the exception for the last two. So, and this game, once it got released on PS4 and Steam, it's pretty much the refined version of the PS3 version, with the original effects of the Xbox 360 version, because the PS3 version unfortunately had a few visual/audio bugs, but those are fixed now. And for the most part, the rebalancing from the PS3 version is preserved, with a few Xbox 360 holdovers. So this game is pretty much the definitive version of Star Ocean 4. And the load times in this version are like 20 minutes faster, 15 to 20 minutes faster than the PS3 version. So the time estimate you see is pretty much reflective of the more gameplay focused parts of the game. So, because this is a marathon style run, I'm going to be renaming a few characters. I already do have a preset in mind, but if we had donation incentives, I'd be naming those after the donation incentive winners. So here we have Edge Maverick, our main protagonist. He's pretty much our sword user. Raimi, our second protagonist. She is a archer. We're going to be using both of them fairly early in the run. Raimi's going to be a mainstay for the entire game. So, setting for this game is pretty much post-apocalyptic Earth. World War III has finished, and now we're on our way to explore new worlds. Cue the Star Trek though. Here we have the first battle in the game, Battle Simulator. Except, no, we're gonna skip it, just like in Star Ocean until the end of time, a speedrun. And now, in every cutscene of the game, we'll be able to skip them. So in the overworld, Edge can move very quickly with the press of the square button, which allows him to sprint. So, the overworld is pretty exciting because you can just sprint all the time. And we're just gonna go through a few cutscenes and arrive on our first world, Crash Land. Wake up Raimi because she's a bit lazy. And explore. I'm gonna talk to a few guys. This guy is going to give us a Cypress Mango. We're actually not going to equip this Cypress Mango. It's going to be used for money purposes only. After talking to these guys, we're going to go talk to Raimi and actually fight our first battle. against these spider guys. So, a few mechanics I'm going to show off here is I'm going to use this blindside mechanic. So the blindside mechanic allows us to pretty much, when you defeat an enemy, they yield a blue bonus gem, and that bonus gem allows us to get 10% more EXP. I got 2 gems there, that means I have plus 20% more bonus experience at the end of battle. So, since this is a marathon style run, I'm going to name a few characters. So, first I'm going to change the beats of the characters. So, Ant Edge is going to be named... Alright, what do we have here? Onions. Onions, Maverick. Our second one is Reimu. Reimu Sandwich. Instead of Reimu. Alright, so this will be our donation incentive names. Let's skip cutscene. And grab a few items that we'll need, because in this route, I will be crafting the Stormblade for safety reasons, and pretty much make the early game bosses a bit more consistent, because the early game in Star Ocean The Last Hope speedruns is among the most difficult stretch, and we need as much help as possible in order to just survive. So this world, Eos, is pretty primitive. There's a lot of insect life. Pretty spooky world. So anyone with insectophobia, yeah, it's not your world. So here we have a cave. We got a few more items. All the items that I grab are mostly because I need money. Either money or they're just convenient upgrades that we get along the way. So there's a chest here, believe me, right here. So sometimes the camera in this game can be a little bit wonky if you don't change your angle, but you can change your angle with the R stick. And we have a few more items here. So chests in this game, they give both experience and party SP. We're gonna need party SP because we need both the individual party members SP pool as well as the individual SP pool and the party SP pool to level up a few skills. And here we're gonna grab one of the more important. Oh, that's close. More important items: the attack seeds. We're gonna be using the attack seeds towards the end of the game, and this is the first of like 2 that I can grab. Okay, so get this chest here, and we're going to be coming up to our first boss of the game. This first boss here is one of a few bosses with a certain gimmick to it. You can tell that this boss has a gimmick based on the music. And this music, the dark, ominous, gloomy music, is the first telltale sign of these guys. So for this guy, we have to break the shell. And here we just get another party member right off the bat. So we're going to be naming this guy FaZe Shape-Bileth, who is not an Earthling, by the way. He is an alien of the race Eldarian, because they come from the planet Eldar. They have 20 ears, but otherwise are human like us. This guy, what we have to do is deal enough damage to his shell, and eventually his shell will break, exposing his weak point. Only then can we actually deal enough damage to defeat him. So what I'm doing here is actually blindsiding against the wall, because that skips the blindside animation. In the option settings in your game, you can turn off blindside animation, but this is independent of the blindside animation option, because if you blindside against the wall, your character won't have enough room to finish the blindside animation. So, because it's fast, that's why, and the blindside still appears, we end up blindsiding against the wall most of the time. So, Takes about a minute or two to break this guy's shell. Get as much hits in, because all the critical hits really help. Ooh, that's a very fast shell break. So once that happens, I need to turn back Earthglaive on for phase, because this guy, ooh, Earth Smash, Electric Smash. Unfortunately, on top of him exposing his weak point, he also gets more moves. But this allows us to combo quite a bit. I'm gonna turn off the AI for Raimi, because I think this guy could be dead in a few more hits. So I'm gonna focus a little bit, make sure we finish him off. Normally I would actually turn off AI for everyone after 2 rounds combos. This is fine. Pretty easy boss. So we're going to be facing quite a few of these bosses in the early game. And that's the first of them. Armoros isn't too bad, and we have our new party member FaZe, who we're going to be renaming to D. L. Where is it? C. C. Done. And while we're at it, let's actually, not yet. We don't have quite the experience for the chests. So after we beat our boss, we have to backtrack. And that's quite a common thing with this game, is we do have to do a bit of backtracking. Alright, now we have level 5. Get cooking in, unequip these items, because we're going to be selling our equipment, because we're going to be getting upgrades fairly soon. So now that we have LCC, LCC explains that this world, it's been a problem because there's a bit of crash landing incidents that's happened with the rest of our ships. So it's not just the Calnus. It's a big surprise. Our ship is called the Calnus, just like in every Star Ocean game. The Aldarians here, our alien allies, have been watching us. And so they've come to our aid, and once we get back to our base, we're going to see it's much different than what it looked like the first time. But for now, let's focus on backtracking. Unfortunately, I can't really focus too much on chat while I am backtracking because of enemy placements. So here, we're going to grab our broken metal cutting blade, because the wind gem, the broken metal cutting blade are both very important components for the weapon I'm going to be crafting for Edge. I'm also going to be grabbing this chest here for safety as well. Right. And we're going to be talking to the captain, if I can talk to him. There we go. Skip the cutscene. And now, we're going to be doing a bit of shopping, because this is our first shop in game. So, we have these shop orders here. We're only going to do this one, because that's about all we need. Buy these items specifically, and sell these things in specific order. Alright, so sell all this stuff. We need 8 seasonings, 7 vegetables, 7 eggs, and 14 raw meats. Because we're going to be doing some item creation very, very soon. But we need to trigger the next series of storyline events, so we have to exit out and go back in. So our guy FaZe, or LCC, arrived in a little ship called the Soul, and we're going to hand over the controls of the Soul to Supreme Commander Gagan. And here we get a monster drill from FaZe, but in this run does not take any pre-saved data. So, because of that, we're going to sell the monster drill for money. And here, we have the Calnus. So while we're traveling between worlds, we're done with Eos, by the way. We have the countless events, which are pretty much the only places in the game where you can do private actions. And here we have purple-haired Welch. So, Welch Wynyard returns, looking more like an actual Welch's grape drink. This is the only Star Ocean game where she appears like this. But yeah, she's pretty much our source for item creation. So we need to invent the Hamburg steak recipe because we need to get as much buffs as possible. And that's where the Hamburg steaks comes in because it gives plus 20% attack for 5 battles as long as the character is not incapacitated. And we also create the pasta pepperoncino, which gives a defense boost. We're going to be using that in one very, very special case towards the middle/end game. So, we're not going to do any private actions, so we're just going to rest until arrival, like the lazy bum we are. So, that's just the secret to traveling in between countries. Airlines, just sleep until arrival. Edge can do it easily, so why not us? And here we arrive on our next world, Eos. Not Eos, Lemurus. Lemurus is a very chilly world. Unfortunately, we landed near a village, so we've been sighted. So, right now we need to avoid enemies, like jerkbirds, oh my god, and head to the nearby village, where we're gonna get our next party member. And I'm gonna rename that party member as soon as I reach the end of the next dungeon. Actually, for those of you who have been watching Final Fantasy IX, we rename a certain character after Blitz. Let's do it right now with Limmel. Alright. And keep that tradition alive. Where's you? So, Blitz Limery 5 is our next party member. She'll be useful for a few battles, but otherwise she's just going to be used for healing fodder. Right now, we're investigating a source of stone sickness that has affected the town. And we are going to our first real dungeon of the game and speak to the, not village elder, but the symbologist who would know more about a cure for the stone sickness. So on we go to our first dungeon, but before that, Edge learns this one particular spell, Healing. Turns out that Edge can do symbology, so he's pretty much a paladin at this point, or excuse me, Onion's Maverick. Onion's Maverick is your quintessential paladin, because he can heal, and casts curative and support symbols. So this gimmick to the Alanair Citadel is that you have to lift these pillars up, but not all the pillars will have these stones, the shining stones I'm about to get from this chest here. So we don't have to grab all the shining stones because we don't have to light up all the light pillars, just a select few. So, light this one up. We're going to be pretty much grabbing all the chests that have these shining stones that we need. So in the Xbox 360 version, in the ramparts, there would be enemies here. But fortunately, on the PS3 version, they removed that. I could not imagine running this game with encounters on the outside like that. So here we have our next shining stone, and that map could have either a skeleton or a lizard dude on the screen. If I get lizard dude, that's bad luck, but looks like we got good luck for both instances. Actually, I should grab a chest here. This one here is a weapon upgrade for phase. Optional, but for a marathon style run, it's actually nice to have. So skeleton, we got skeleton for 3 screens in a row, which is pretty good luck, if I gotta say. So let's go grab another chest. So this chest here, the anti-poison amulet, I'm actually not going to equip it. I'm going to sell it for money because it's worth about 2,000 fall. And our money is a hot commodity that we want to get as much of. So we don't light up that pillar because it doesn't really do much for us. But we light these ones up. Okay, so we've got these pillars. So those pillars, those two pillars that I just lit up, and this one here, they need those shining stones. So that's why we grabbed them. And the hard part now is dodging the enemies, because some of these hitboxes are pretty annoying to deal with, like the lizard guys. These guys are very mobile, and they have large hitboxes. So if I'm gonna enter an encounter, it's most likely due to a lizard. Yeah, it's pretty funny that for every single Star Ocean game, there's one universal currency, and it's fall. It's pretty great, I gotta say. If only other places in the world were like that, where we just take one form of currency. Alright, so got the shining stone here. And we're gonna be making our first safety save because the boss that's coming up here is one of the harder ones in the speedrun. So we're gonna use the last of our shining stones and proceed to the end of the dungeon. Okay. Okay, so let's see. First safety save, then I'm gonna be using the time to menu. So the nice thing about safety saving, if you don't have a lot of saves, is saving is pretty fast because we don't have to check as much save files. So our menu here, we're going to use anthropology because it's a key thing to have because, let's see, let's rename our, oh, we already renamed, okay. I'm going to change the beat to strike because we're going to be using blindside mechanic liberally. Let's see. Equip everyone. We're good to go. For our first boss. What was I saying again? I don't think it's important. Alright, first boss of the game, Dragon Hits. So, unfortunately, something is up with the symbologist. She was slain by these Dragon Newts. And now it's our duty to defeat these guys and clean up the mess that they made. But we also gotta keep our guys, keep an eye on our guys, because the ads in this fight, they can do quite a bit of damage if our party members, if the AI isn't able to take care of them. Ooh, but the Dragon Dude himself, he's the more dangerous one. Because the Dragon Dude can pretty much two-shot our guys, like he's like almost instantly, if we're not careful. But this guy, in my splits, I colloquially named him Cliff Fitter because his attacks remind me a lot of Cliffs from Star Ocean 3. Alright, once we've got this, the Dragon Dude alone, we can... Uh-oh, FaZe died. I don't know why he did that. That's okay though. So, a lot of his attacks are like Cliffs. That's why I named him Cliff in my splits. So one thing that's very important is that this guy, you can't blindside him right away, otherwise you'll get blindside countered. So once he's in the middle of executing an attack, where that the targeting reticle flashes between red and yellow, that's when you can blindside him. But I'm going to be focusing quite a bit because this fight can go wrong if I'm not careful. But the strategy is pretty much do as much damage as we can with all our party members. So this fight requires quite a bit of micromanaging. Okay, this is fine. Once you cast a spell, we can just use our spells and and just deal some free damage. Might as well, right? Ooh. When he angles his attacks, it's kinda not great. So, in order to blindside, you have to be facing in front of the enemy, like at a specific angle, like a front angle. You can't like offset your angle too much, otherwise the reticle will not appear. Although the decay rate does prorate after a while, the critical rate does prorate after a while. So the further you extend your combo, the less likely you'll be able to do critical hits, because the critical hits you deal, they're not guaranteed once the blue exclamation point and question mark status appears on the screen. That was a very smooth DragOnNoob fight, actually, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, if I made one single mistake, it could have gone south very, very easily, because DragOnNoob's attack will tear through us like paper. Like, as you saw earlier with FaZe, he just got defeated by one single Sphere of Might. So here we grab the Chain Combos Manual, which is very important for one of our characters within like half an hour from now. And we're gonna go to our next village, Woodley. So in Woodley, we're gonna be grabbing a few gear upgrades for our characters. So get the anti-stun amulets here, and sell our gear. So Monster Jewel and anti-poison amulet. We're gonna be grabbing the Torchbow and Flame Wand, because our next boss is gonna be weak to fire. And we need as much help as we can in order to make the next boss a little bit more bearable. Because the next boss, execution-wise, is one of the most difficult in the game, in the speedrun. Because, well, in the speedrun, you have very limited resources. I mean, you can grind and eventually beat that boss, but in a speedrun setting, it's actually slower. A strategy that you could use for that upcoming boss is create the Flame Sword for item creation, but the time it takes to obtain the materials, while making the fight faster, it's overall slower because the time it takes to grab materials, make the weapon, invent the recipe and item creation, it's just far too long. Plus you have to fight a few encounters in order to get a few items as well. So we have to grab this fairy orchid because we have these trees here that block our path, but they're not actually real trees. It's pretty much a magical plot wall at this point, where we got rid of the plot wall now. Minor plot wall, minor inconvenience. Remember these trees from Star Ocean Free? Yeah, they're back. This little tree here is really a monster, as our good friend the fairy said. So we're going to be backtracking back to the first village because we need to talk to the village elder about the stone sickness cure, because the person who would know more about how to cure was killed by the DragOnNoobs. So now we have to talk to the next best person, Lutia, who is in Woodley. Now we have to get more advice from the village elder, who is Limel's grandpa, by the way. Because apparently we got a symbol stone from Lutia. And in order to charge the symbol stone, we need to go to the source of the sickness. But as it turns out, we're not the first aliens to land on this planet. So now we're going to investigate the lizard guys because, well, first, we got our first elemental disintegration ring in the fire ring. It's not charged, so we have to talk to the shady sorcerer to get a first refill for free. And then grab the basil here, because basil, they cure the paralysis status effect. So now we're on our merry way to the source of where these lizard guys and DragOnNoobs are coming from. Alright. Ooh, nice. We got our ice sprints. So if you time your sprints just right, as Edge or as Onions lands on the ice, you can get a little slide, and it's a little faster for us. We're actually going to be using this to do a little bit of sequence breaking in the next dungeon, which is coming up soon. I'm not even holding the controller, by the way, because on Ice Patch you can't actually sprint. If you try to sprint, you're going to be stuck in place. So that's why I didn't sprint there. You can set your character to auto run by pressing L2 as soon as you're running, and you can let go of the controller, and it will be running, and Edge will be running. So we used our disintegration rings in order to unfreeze these two ice blocks. And nice thing about unfreezing the ice blocks is it gives a bit of party SP and experience. But first, we're going to be doing a safety save because the problem with the next dungeon is the encounters can kill me, and I've lost a run or two to those encounters before if I'm not careful. So just going to play it a little safe with the safety saves. And this ship here is apparently the source of the illness. It's a huge ship, much bigger than the Calmus. But man, now we're going to explore it and hopefully find the source of the illness. We're going to be grabbing a few plastic explosives and do a little bit of sequence breaking right here. Oh, yeah, okay. It's going to take a few tries, unfortunately. Okay. That's unfortunate. There we go. Took a few tries, but if you time your sprint just right, we can just go up the ramp there. And it saves us from having to break down a door with plastic explosives. Thus, we only need to grab 2 plastic explosives to get through this area. We need this chest here for HP boost because we need it for a certain character. No ice sprint here. It's fine. That we're gonna get later in the game. Okay, so get past this dragon newts. And get our next weapon upgrade for Edge. Alright, so the Cardionon Sword, very good piece of weaponry for Edge at this for Onions at this point. We're going to be cutting more onions now. Well, bad joke, but the onion cutting will be easier for us. Get a Cardionon data disc and use our second plastic explosive here because we're going to be grabbing a very important skill manual. It's going to help with the upcoming fights. Critical hits. And for that, we're going to be doing a little bit of menu as well in order to use our skill manuals. So critical hits on Edge, equip the Cardionon blade and all of our gear that we just bought. Heal with Edge, turn off firebolts, skill boost, critical hit, skill config, critical hit, and some take out rising blade. This should be fine. I might have made a mistake somewhere, but I think it's fine. Stay out of trouble, and I think that's it. Double check things one more time. I should be fine. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna face a little bit of Gauntlet here. Well, this Gauntlet is prime opportunity for us to farm more bonus gems. So the main goal for this is farming as much bonus gems as much as possible. Alright, so I'm gonna be using Remy just to farm some critical. That's okay if we don't grab bonus gem for that. That's okay. So I do want a minimum of 7 bonus gems from this fight, but we do fight like 10 guys, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm a little worried about Limmel though. Yeah, I would have to revive her. That's fine though. Okay, so revive Limmel. Play a little safe here. Gonna grab a few more. Alright, DragonnOOb here is much easier because this is a regular enemy DragonnOOb. Okay. I'm a little worried about Limbo again. She should be okay. Ooh, that's okay. Alright, DragonnOOb should be fine. And grab the last critical gem. Alright, so 10 gems, 10 critical gems. Oh yeah, also ambushes in this game. Ambushes appear when you enter a battle that has more than one wave. And once you get ambushed, you get extra bonus experience from that, as well as 1 extra party SP from finishing the fights. Also gonna grab this item here after the heal points, and that item here will give us a little bit of extra HP for Edge. And Edge is going to be tanking quite a bit of hits for the next fight. And that next fight here is going to be extremely difficult for us if something goes wrong. So I'm definitely going to be safety saving that fight. So I'm going to power up a few more skills. And make our safety save. And I'm going to be focusing a bit on this run, on this fight, because this fight is another one of those weak point bosses. But the weak point boss is extremely powerful at this point. And if something goes wrong, I'm going to have to focus a lot to recover. So, here we go. Braccio, our next weak point boss. The way he exposes his weak point is if he does 2 specific moves. Dragon Tornado, which is this, and Freezing Circle, which he uses when he's at half HP. So if you think of StarCraft Brood War siege tanks, essentially what we're suffering is splash damage, much akin to a siege tank. Alright, so hopefully it's a little safe here. We've got to be careful of our bonus board because if we suffer a critical hit with the character that we're controlling, we will have our bonus board broken. Unfortunately, that was a weird hit. It's RNG what moves he uses, by the way, Braccio. So it's not always that he's going to use Dragon Tornado. Okay, that's a little scary, because I don't want Braccio to use that Dragon Tornado move. Dragon Spike move. That Spike move is very, very dangerous. Like, he uses it way more often when he's in Rush mode. So Rush mode is kind of like a Limit Break kind of move. You will have, like, infinite block. Like, you won't be stunned when you're taking hits. Plus, you'll have a chance of doing critical hits in Rush mode. So the reason why we are using, let's see, Raimi and Edge here, because, let's see, is because Raimi has the Torch Bow, Braccio's weak against fire, and the Torch Bow, if it deals critical hits, does a lot of damage to Braccio. I gotta kite him because I'm a little afraid of Braccio's move. I wasn't afraid of what move he'll use, so I had to kite him a little bit. Dragon Tornado's fine. I don't think the timing is right for Phase. Phase is too far. Okay. Dragon Tornado is fine. Ooh, Freezing Circle means he's almost dead. So, or at least halfway dead. Because FaZe was far away, I have to just use Raimi here for that one round. Because I took stun from the splash damage, I'm only opting to use edges attacks here. But if it didn't get stunned like that, then I'm fine. Braccio. Oof, I had to play it a little safe there. I wasn't able to charge my blindside enough. So you have to charge blindside by holding circle. That's another thing I neglected to mention that I should have mentioned earlier. Wow. Oh, that was a good fight, actually. Very good fight. Nothing went wrong. So if I took direct hit from the Dragon Tornado, that would have one-shot Edge. And that would have been bad news for us. Very, very good fight. Very, very good for a Marathon as well. Easily the hardest fight execution-wise, other than Dragon Newts. And you're going to need quite a bit of luck for him to use Dragon Tornado a lot there. But now that we defeated Braccio, all the lizard guys and Dragon Dudes are gone. Alright, that's what happens when you sprint on ice. You're stuck in place. Because that was an accident there, but it may as well be a showcase of what happens. So, we're done with Lemurs now, because once we defeated Braccio, who was the source of the stone sickness, the symbol stone actually shattered. So that's not good for us. But it also had the effect of curing everyone who was inflicted with stone sickness, but to a certain degree. Unfortunately, we're going to see that we were a bit too late with the symbol stone, at least for one character. Alright, so I'm not holding the controller. Hands-free. Now I can, aside from changing the camera angle. Alright, now we're good. If this is like a in-person marathon, I would just let go of the controller for everyone to see. But yeah, this is the only time in the game where the ice fields are present, unfortunately. So it would be nice if there were more places that had the ice fields, but I can understand why the ice fields would not be a popular choice for a gimmick. So, we're done with Lemurus, we're backtracking, and it turns out that Limel's grandpa was turned to stone. So that's unfortunate for us. So, after everything that's happened, we're going to be saving a little bit. Limel decides to come with us on to our next journey. And now, we're going to investigate the home planet of where those lizard guys came from. And that's in Cardianon. So that's our next destination. And with that, we're traveling in between worlds. It's time... You know what it's time for. It's time for us to take a nap. After FaZe stops blocking us. So, we're just gonna sleep and get to our next destination. Alright, here we go. Our next destination is Cardianon. Unfortunately, we were captured by a large ship. It turns out the Cardianon is actually a really, really giant ship. We're going to be powering up a few moves in the meantime with our newfound levels. Stampede Slash, on Edge, what else? We'll be turning on the AI for a little bit, just to be safe, and turn off Windblade, and I think we should be fine. But we're going to be safety saving here because the next fight here can actually ruin us if we're not careful. So this planet we're actually going to is this entire giant Deep Space Nine. Except this Deep Space Nine is very hostile. So here we have these guys, the Cardianon soldiers and the bots. Oh, the soldiers here are very dangerous because the volley of bullets that they just fired, they deal quite a bit of damage. Ooh, wow, that was a lot. That was a lot of bullets. They can do that sometimes too. They can just fire a huge volley of rounds like that. But other than that, fight should not be hard. It's just those two Cardianon soldiers that can pose a huge problem. I have game over to that fight before. But now, we're just gonna try to get out of Cardianon by disabling the tractor beam that Deep Space Nine has pulled the Countless in, while avoiding these robots and grabbing a few items. So we're gonna be grabbing our next disintegration ring here, this chest, the Thunder Ring. The Thunder Ring comes with 2 free charges, but we need to use free charges. How do you get more charges? Well, we're gonna find out right now. Because we're gonna use one of the Thunder Ring charges to break this panel. Well, the door's locked, but if we break this panel with the Thunder Ring and recharge the Thunder Ring with the discharge from the broken panel, we get to charge our Thunder Ring for 20 charges. So the Fire Ring and the Thunder Ring both have 20 total charges. In the speedrun, you don't need that many at all. Even casually, like, I think you only need to recharge the Fire Ring like once. The Thunder Ring even less. So here we have a control panel. The LCC found the passcode for our next area, and we're gonna use that passcode to open this door. So LCC is very smart. This game is very, very fun for me. I like this game a lot. Well, let's see. We have a shop here. So apparently we have vending machines in this game. We're going to be using those to grab scrambling units, which is our instant. It's like a smoke bomb from the Final Fantasy games. It's instant escape from battle. But we're only going to use the scrambling units for late game encounters. And we're also going to we also bought a nice helping of fresh sages. We're maxing them out. Alright, so we break the panel here to break the cryogenics chamber and pretty much free these lizard guys from their sleep. Because apparently these lizard guys are like a perfect mutation of the Cardianon soldiers. That's why there's lizard and Cardianon soldiers. The Cardianon soldiers are more like human beings. They're sentient and they're pretty intelligent, but they're also very mean, much like the Cardassians. Which is pretty much what Deep Space Nine was originally, I believe. It was Cardassian Station. Or was it the Dominion? I forget. It's been such a long time since I watched Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Anyways, so we got an ID card from one of the corpses, and we registered the ID card, and we're able to get here. However, we're thrown in prison. How do we get out? Perhaps we just talked to a few of us. Apparently there's a steel giant here. Surely the steel giant will be around somewhere. Well, there he is. His name is Bacchus D79. There was a preset name for him, but I forgot what it was. Let's see. I'm gonna keep playing from now until I remember that space set name. So we're gonna grab the attack bracelet, skip a few encounters in here. Yep, you can skip all of the fights here by sprinting a little bit upright. Just grab the Cardion bow and go. Oh yeah, that's the name I want to give Bacchus. I just remembered. Alright. Shout out to our man Big Fallen Balls, who just got sub free in Phantasy Star 4. First, we're going to use our few skill manuals, chain combos, and HP boost on Bacchus. We're going to use a hamburg steak on them as well. Equipments, we're going to be transferring the power bracelet and the stun to, not power bracelet, attack bracelet. Unequip the fire armlet, equip the Cardion bow. Let's see, skill boost, a few more. Galvanic shock. King combos. Take out Earthglaive and Sonic Form. Equip Rage. Galvanic Shock on Bacchus. Rename Bacchus to Big's Emote. It's technically big for PPMA, but because I can't keep caps on SO4 for some reason. There we go. Big for PPMA, D79. So, also change our tactics, and we should be good to go for the next part. So, what Bacchus can do is, he's pretty much Robocop / Mega Man. He has Buster, so we're going to be using Buster to win our fights. I use a combination of dash attacks. If you hold circle button and then enter a direction on your L stick, with Bacchus, he'll be able to dash. And if you press your attack button in the middle of those dashes, he'll be doing Buster shots. So I use that and close range attacks, because his close range attacks, if you chain them, they do quite a bit of damage. So that's why I use it like that. Alright. So, you'll see how powerful those close range attacks are when I defeated that dragon dude there. So yeah, combination of fast attacks with the Buster shots and the close range attacks, they're very, very powerful. So, our next guys here, the Dragoons. Shoutouts to the Legend of Dragoon. Oh, alright. Alright, sure. Okay. We're gonna be luring this guy a little bit behind us. But we're also gonna change the AI for a few characters and switch in phase, because phase is gonna be very important for us. Alright. Is Edge gonna die here? I'm not sure. Oh, cannon. Wow! What is happening? Alright. Guy's able to jump on this, but should be fine. Alright, that was a rough fight, but it wasn't too bad. This chest here is very important. We must not forget this one. EM bombs. They do a fixed 2,500 damage on a small blast radius on the enemy target. And that fixed damage is going to be very useful for us for a few fights, but not for the upcoming ones though. So this area in Cardion is very maze-like. So in this area, there's a few laser walls. Some of the laser walls are weak, and some of them are strong. It's not RNG. Like, it's predetermined which ones are weak and which ones are strong. And you pretty much need to have a map, or just do a little bit of experimenting on which ones are fully powered and which ones are not. So in this room, you normally should be able to wait, what was it? Destroy the panels and cause some fog in this room, and that fog will allow us to tell which of these barriers are weak barriers and which ones are strong barriers. So, but it's, as I said before, they're all fixed, so I know exactly which ones are weak and which ones are strong, and it allows us to just make a single path. Oh, this guy is very fast. So Dragoons, I don't want to get an encounter because I don't want to lose my bonus board. Dragoons are a bad combination of large hitbox and very mobile. So it took some time to avoid getting an encounter there. So here we go. We've got our next skill manual, Mind Flare. Mind Flare is very useful because it triples the intelligence stats, and that allows for symbology to deal triple the damage that it normally would. And the nice thing about symbology in this game is that all the spells do fixed damage independent of the target's defense stat. So we will take advantage of symbology towards the middle of the game. And here we have a long dialogue section with all of our party members: Onions Maverick, Reimu, Sionji, Mutsuki Limerifi, DLCC, Shafa Belef, and Big PPMA D79. Nice little catch-up chat. And now, here's the next of the weak point bosses. I'll consider him to be one of the hardest in the game. You'll see why. Well, that's not what I had in mind when I said he would be the hardest boss in the game. Definitely not. Definitely not. Definitely not. There we go. There we go. Oh, well, Voltage Blast. So, this guy, Sahario. He's weak to Thunder once he exposes his weak point via V-Beam or Voltage Blast. And a round of Galvanic Shocks should be able to take him down, but since he had his Rush gauge filled up, I couldn't finish him off with one volley of Galvanic Shocks. But yeah, he's actually the easiest boss in the game, should he cooperate. I just got bad luck there. Also, I should split because I have my splits open. But it's okay. But yeah, we're done here with Guardian on. So the Guardian on has activated its emergency warp out, but unfortunately, Bacchus took a few hits and is now incapacitated, and we have to escape. For whatever reason, if you should be trapped by the bulkheads there, you need to fight an encounter that you cannot escape from. So, three very, very young guys and a 15-year-old child are moving a 2-ton robot. Seems realistic, right? So yeah, that's what we did, and we're out of here. We escaped in time, and our next destination is Bacchus' homeworld, because he's, like FaZe, is not an Earthling. He is a Morphus, and his homeworld is EN2. So we're gonna plot a chart a course to EN2. And there's a third guy, aside from Edge and Raimi, called Crow. He has red hair. He's much like Edge and Raimi. And we're gonna meet up with him and pretty much assess our situation. But first, we need to assign some rooms. So, room assignment is pretty much strictly for private action purposes. And I assign people to rooms in a specific order because, well, you'll see why. I'll explain why later. But Same as usual, we're traveling between worlds. We're just gonna go sleep. But unfortunately, looks like we have an emergency situation. So we're warping out. So the cutscene that we're about to skip is, well, any physics major will probably not like the sound of this, but we were sucked into the black hole and we traveled back in time, and now we're on Earth. We're in Roswell, essentially, in 1950s or 60s. I don't remember exactly when. And yep, we're on Earth now. And apparently, well, we landed here. Seems like no one's around, but it's really a cover-up. We're gonna grab our next item here, red herbs. Red herbs cure the silence status effect. The silence effect is not gonna appear until the later half of the game, and the silence status effect is pretty annoying to deal with. Alright, so we encounter this, we meet this guy named Klaus. He has green hair, he's a pretty smart guy. He's willing to help us out. So he's willing to help us out in exchange that we free this one cat girl named Miracle. And now we're just gonna go free her as we make our way out of Earth, because our essential goal is to escape from Earth. Fortunately, someone sounded the alarm. And we saw Miracle, our next party member. Spoiler alert, the cat girl is a party member. And we gotta free her from... let's see. So power up Stampede Slash. And I should be okay. For our next boss, the Dynamic Beast. I named him Ghidra because, well, in Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, we do fight a Chimera-like enemy, aptly named Ghidra. And Genomic Beast can also paralyze, just like Ghidra. So that's why we got the Basil, because the Basil cures against the paralyzed status effect. That's fine. Could have had a good fight, but it's okay. This is a very good fight by all means. Alright, very good fight. Ideally, he'd be taken down in one Galvanic Shock volley, but that's okay, that's okay. So, our next party member, Miracle, is actually going to be renamed into a donation incentive. And for this run, we're going to name her... It's Kazuko, right? I think that's it. Kazuko Shoutbots. There we go. So, apparently Remy and Limmel got captured. Limmel escaped, but now we freed Remu Hakurei back in our party. Apparently, they took the warp core, and the warp core was about to collapse. So we have to eject the core, much like in the Star Trek series, and escape. But first we need to grab our full snaps. The full snaps, when equipped, they give a 20% full bonus upon finishing a battle. Oh my god, this guy has never blocked a door before for me. Marathon lock right here. I might as well grab this chest too. Combat stun bombs. I actually use the combat stun bombs for item creation a little bit later. But yeah, once we get out here, essentially what happens is Earth got blown up because we ejected the warp core. Well, that's not exactly what happened, but yeah, Earth was destroyed, and we got back to our real dimension now, in real time. So, goodbye past alternate Earth, hello Star Ocean 1, because suddenly we traveled to Star Ocean 1 world broke. And the music that you hear in this game, in this area, is exactly a remix of the Star Ocean 1 themes. And I must say, it's a really nice remix. I'm gonna stay silent for you guys to enjoy the music. Oh yeah, the music is really nice. Plus we've got a few more classics like Jerkbirds, Lycanthropes, Bees, because bees are a Star Ocean staple, and Jerkbirds, because one mention of Jerkbirds ain't enough. Oh my god, the Jerkbird was right next to me. Oh my god. But yeah, Miracle's in our party. Seems like this is the origin planet of Miracle, but she's not sure. Now this cutscene we skip here, Raimi is just being klutz. She just tripped over something that she normally doesn't trip. That's okay. Everything is fine. So we're gonna move on. While we enjoy the scenery and music of Rogue. Very beautiful place. And escape from more funny thieves and evil trees. Funny thieves are my favorite way of classifying the scumbag enemies, because in Star Ocean the second story, these guys are named Funny Thieves. It's a really good translation. A classic at the times. Here we have our first town, Tatroy. So, any of you guys from Star Ocean 1 who've played Star Ocean 1 will recognize this town immediately. And that statue too. That statue is a very specific character, Ashley Burnbelts. And he has both of his arms this time, at this timeline. Fun fact, you can actually fight Ashley in this game. It's a side quest. And he's like the third hardest enemy in the game. Need to ask these guys about bunnies, because these guys know more about bunnies. Nomad Village guys. And we need bunnies to cross the desert, because only bunnies can traverse the deserts. If you try to traverse the desert, we're just gonna be sucked in, because it's like Ocarina of Time warp out effect. If you void out, you essentially come back to the beginning of the zone. Here's bunnies. But unfortunately, Reimu actually contracted stone sickness, so she is now incapacitated. Oh, poor lazy Shrine Maiden. She just couldn't take anymore, so she just gotta take a rest. Speed enough for yokai already. Surely becoming a Jesus statue isn't the worst outcome. Anyways, now we must find a way to cure Reimu. First, we need to buy some items. Pumpkin extract, because there's a status effect in this game that literally turns you into a pumpkin. You can't do anything other than move. So the pumpkin extract actually cures the pumpkin status. It doesn't come up until the very end of the game. But we grab the pumpkin's extract just in case. We're making a safety save here, because the upcoming boss fight here has the potential of ending the run. But first, we grab some elf seeds. We're going to be using that for item creation later. So it turns out, this guy called the Black Eagle. Here's Lias Warren, father of Sirius Warren from Star Ocean 1. This Black Eagle is a renegade, or a bandit, that apparently knows more about the stone sickness. And it's our job now to go after the Black Eagle. And pretty much beat him up and get him to answer for things. Alright, so we're gonna use the Hamburg steak on onions. Hamburg and onions, they go well together, don't they? Give the anti-stun and attack bracelet to you, and the sword, Fame Sword Bainsley, to onions. And now we'll be on our merry way. it's not a party wipe if everyone becomes pumpkins. Eventually, the pumpkin status will expire, but it doesn't happen until a very long time. So apparently the Black Eagle is pulled up here in this Coliseum. So another classic staple of Star Ocean game is the Coliseum section. Here's the Black Eagle. He's pretty buff. He's pretty strong. And he actually can kill me if I'm not careful. So we grab the Gameshorn Vaneslate because that's a very, very powerful sword at this point. Buff up Edge. And hope that he dies pretty quickly. Alright, so our strategy here is pretty much use Stampede Slash. And by blindsiding against the wall, you can use your Stampede Slash immediately. And you'll benefit from the increased critical rate that the blindside status gives. The Black Eagle's rush gauge is nearly full, so I'm going to juggle it in the air. Not that. Ooh. Alright, should be almost down. That's good. That's Black Eagle for you. Yeah, Black Eagle's hits, he can do like 300 to 400 damage per hit, and it's pretty tough. And he can deal a lot of hits really fast, so it's very possible you could game over to him. So that's why. It's a pretty dangerous fight. So we got Stone Sickness, Reimu is cured. She can finally beat some yokai up. Now we have to investigate why Sarah Durand disappeared. So Sarah was that feather folk that we saw earlier. Spoiler, she's a party member. But yeah, there were some cultists that were causing some trouble. And in the first cutscene in Satroy, onions beat them up. And rescued Sarah. But now the nomads disappeared after we cured Reimu. Oh yeah, while we got the bunny raids, the LCC got a new piece of fashion. Now we can ride bunnies. So bunnies in this game, they've got a certain look to them. They kind of look soulless to me. If you look, oh my god, that'd be... Yeah, they kind of have a soulless look to the eyes if you zoom in close enough. And I believe this is the only Star Ocean speedrun where you're actually forced to ride a bunny in order to progress with the plot. So pink bunny guy, oh my god. Close call. So these quicksand trenches, we are only able to cross them because we rode a bunny. If we tried to cross them without a bunny, we'll be sucked in and voided out, a la Ocarina of Time. So, now that we have used a bunny, we don't need him anymore. And on Xbox, this is where you would change to disc 3. The most random disc change of all RPGs was from that screen to this screen, because this is a disc 3 area. So, I'm gonna get a chest that's extremely important coming up for a few fights: the Riot Potions. What the Riot Potions do is they give you infinite MP, but only for 60 seconds. But the infinite MP for 60 seconds is faster than using just some blackberries to restore your MP, because the amount of MP we're going to be using for a few fights far exceeds how much MP blackberries you would restore, compared to how much MP that would be used for one Riot Potion use. Okay, so got a cutscene here to skip. So this place is also a classic, the Purgatorium. So we've got the statues of the Mua here. They look very suspiciously like Earthlings, so we're kind of very, very confused as to what's going on. As you guys know from Star Ocean 1, if you played it, Purgatorium is a very advanced, technologically advanced place that should not exist in Rogue, but it does. So now we're on our way back. But we can't go back the way we came from to our next destination, which is another town from Star Ocean 1. Because what's between our way is a quicksand trench, and this area means we don't need a quicksand trench. It's not... Yeah, it's accessible to us through the Caves of Purgatorium. Let's go to our next town, Drop. So this cultist guy apparently in Trop, and he was delivering his servants to us. He looked very, very suspicious to us, but surely we're not going to see him, are we? I don't think so. We'll be fine. Unequip the Vein Slay, equip the Attack Bracelet and Anti-Stun back, and we're going to be selling a few things and doing a bit of shopping. Because we're going to be buying a few skill manuals from there. We're going to sell the Silver Chalice that we just got, as well as a few of the Combat Stun Bombs, sell this, the Power Bracelet, sell all items, our weapons. We don't really need them anymore. And we're going to be buying some skill manuals. HP, critical hits, and chain combos. Oh, one thing I need to do is equip the full snaps that we got on Earth. It's Raimi. It's kind of ironic that we're giving something that gives more money to Reimu Hakure, a poor shrine maiden in Gensokyo. It's pretty funny, if you ask me. In any case, yeah. We meet an augurer by the name of Elena Ference. Maybe some relation to Ratix Ference. And we got our next party member, Miria Tianesis. I'm gonna do the menu to rename Miria. I forgot what I'm supposed to rename her as, because this is a marathon style run. But yeah, we gotta level up from opening that chest. And what else? I really forgot what the name is for her. Okay, so Mind Flare on Miria, critical hit on Kazuko and Reimu, chain combos on Miria and Reimu. And we're gonna be actually, I don't think I do. Alright, so we're gonna skill boost, HP boost, critical hit, more critical hits, Mind Flare, chain combos, Ice Needles, and Void. Oh yeah, that's Miria's name. Okay. Okay. HP boost, unequip Galvanic Shock. There's a very specific reason that I did that. I'm also gonna equip critical hits, Combat Impact, because we're gonna be using Miracle quite a bit for the upcoming fights. Like Ice Needles, because we're gonna be using Miria quite liberally in the upcoming sections. Oh yeah, Miria is gonna be renamed to shoutouts to Germany, our favorite speedrunner, RPG speedrunner, and RPG Limit Break Committee member, Elmagoose.com. Elmagoose Tianesis. So Mutsuki is no longer of use to us, unfortunately. We're gonna change Reimu's AI. We're gonna change Bigfoot PPMA's beats, and same with Elmagoose's beats as well. So the beats is pretty much related to blindsiding and rush gauge. So S is more for blindsides, and B is for rushes. And rush gauge charges a little bit better. You get more bonuses associated with the rush gauge on the bottom of the... Well, each character has their HP, their MP, and their rush gauge in battle. And once that rush gauge fills up, if we use square, we can activate it. There's another mechanic to the rush gauge system that we're going to use for not the upcoming boss, but the one after. It's called rush combos. And it's pretty much like a limit break kind of move. It allows you to deal boosted skill damage for free. And it's pretty powerful for a few enemies. So here we have these pop puzzles. These puzzles are actually not random. They have the same solution every time. And the solution is to follow where the statues of the halberds, where they point to. So in this area, there's two statues. Both their line of sights have to intersect at the correct pots to light up. And if you fail to input the correct solution, you'll need to fight an encounter that you cannot escape from. So here we have our next boss, the Guardian Beast. So the Guardian Beast has the no guard status effect, and no guard is actually cancelled out by the Void skill. Fortunately, Guardian Beast is going after me, Miria. We're using Ice Needles because it does a lot of damage for us. Ooh, alright. Ideally, Guardian Beast would not be targeted, but such is life. I can afford to cast... Oh my god, that's not a great way to lose your bonus board. Ooh. Alright. Be a little careful here. 2 Ice Needles cast, unboosted, which will be fine. And now we're going to switch to Miracle, because Miracle is going to be very important for a few upcoming sections. Where is he aiming? Alright. We might need the EM bomb here. I have an extra one. And ideally, I want to finish him off. Alright, we got a critical gem out of it. That's not bad. Kind of a rough fight, but it's not too bad. We got the experience for Miracle, that's good. But carrying the bonus board for this long is not bad at all. Alright, so we got our next elemental disintegration ring, the light ring, from being the Guardian Beast there. Unfortunately, this one is a very, very infamous disintegration ring because it only has one charge. And the only way we can recharge it currently is using the light from these crystals here. And in the post-game for Star Ocean 4, there's a dungeon that can require all of your disintegration rings. And because we need to use disorient the crystals with the disintegration rings, that one's infamous because the light ring crystals appear a lot. And yeah, that's not fun. Alright, we grab a full chest here because we need the money. So yeah, don't worry if this room seems very, very, very non-intuitive. It really is. Like, memorizing the solution to this room can actually be challenging. But because the solutions to these rooms are fixed, you just memorize the order of your of the pots lit up. You're fine. You'll be fine. There's a lot of these statues to guide you as well, so you can just have a look at those statues and you'll be fine. That was in the way. Alright, so we've got the last of our light ring that we're not going to use the light ring again for the speedrun, thankfully. statue. The gimmick about this room in particular and a few others is that the statue does not wait for you. They'll just tell you where to go, like, and it'll be a bit fast. But the solutions to the puzzle is the same. So, it's all good. Apparently, Sarah has been offered as a sacrifice because the cultists want to sacrifice Fetterfolk because they're, like, pure or whatever it is. It's pretty bad, so we gotta rescue Sarah. So, this is our last room with the pot puzzle, and it's very long because there's a lot of sprinting to get from one pot to the next. And you can mess up easily if you're not paying attention to the order. Plus, there's a lot of enemies in the way too. So that also makes it annoying to keep track. There's only one statue to lead the way. But that statue is our friend. And friends help guide us along the way. Alright, so we've got... Oh my god, I like this spot. Alright. Fortunately, I chose a weird angle. But it's okay. I think this is the next one. Yeah, that's our next one. Oh, if you press R1, you can change the camera to default to point to north. If you press R3, you can set the camera to face the direction Onions is facing. So, a few nice tricks of the camera there. Oh, this guy is in a weird position. Oh my god. That Sidonase beta there is also very, very tricky, because he blends kind of fairly well to the background. Right, that's the last of the puzzle here. Unfortunately, as Onions is the only character that knows the sprint skill, we're stuck with Onions as our overworld character. It's much like how in Star Ocean, in all the Star Ocean games really, like, except for 5, you're stuck with the main character. Like, if you choose Reyna, Reyna's your overworld character. You choose Claude, Claude's your overworld character, and Fate in Star Ocean 3 is your overworld character at all times. So we got the Ancient Cannon, which is our next weapon upgrade for Bacchus. We're gonna do a safety save for the upcoming fight, just in case, because I gotta be very careful about how I use my rush gauge, because I'm gonna use the rush combos mechanics for that boss. So, I'm gonna use the Hamburg steak on... Wait, do I need to have Hamburg steak? I think I do, yes. Yep. Cannon. And I'm gonna use some HP boosts, just in case. I think I should be okay. Oh yeah. I think that's everything we need. We're good to go. So our next boss here is Tamiel. I'm gonna change our AI for Bacchus to manual for a very specific reason. So the AI on auto likes to use up the rush gauge as soon as it's filled up to 100. So you gotta be very careful of our rush gauge that we don't use it, or that Bacchus's AI doesn't use it. So we turn manual on there. We have to get through 2 waves of these guys in order to get to the real boss. We should have no problems filling up our gauge. Alright, so we need Mind Flare coming up. for this next section here. Our real boss here is Tamiel. I gotta be very careful of Tamiel. I need to target him, use rush combos, activate rush gauge, and then use a skill right after, and you'll enter rush combo mode, where you need to input a certain amount of inputs in order to get your next attack in. I disable the skills on FaZe and Reimu, or rather, the LCC and Reimu, back at Cardianon, so I wouldn't accidentally use their skills during the rush combo here. So the only option at this point is use Miria. So now we're good. We just have the side and ace. Have to clean up a few bad things. Alright. Change to Miracle. Turn AI back on. Revive Reimu. Uh-oh. FaZe. Ooh, that's actually bad. Unfortunately, FaZe died there, so he's not getting experience. Oh, I was not careful about that. That's unfortunate. But I think we'll be fine without that one battle's worth of experience. But that's okay. We'll see where the run takes us. I think we'll be fine. But now, this is the longest backtracking sequence of the game because, well, we rescued Sarah, we can't do anything else on Rogue, we've resolved all the problems, but Side and Ace there are still rampant. So unfortunately, we can't do much about that. We have to get back to the Countess. And we were poisoned. Well, if we were poisoned, then there's bad news for us. We would be seeing a lot of red flashes on the screen, and a lot of painful grimaces that Edge would be grunting out because our party members are inflicted with poison. But for Marathon, I would just cure that poison right away with FaZe, with LCC, because he has the antidote skill. It's more to make this viewer-friendly experience. Now we're done with Purgatorium. So, you know what the best part about backtracking in this section is? We get to ride a bunny again, because we have to cross a quicksand trench in order to make our way back. Let's go get the bunny. Sure, you might be wondering, where is the bunny? Because we definitely ditched our bunny when we crossed the first quicksand trench. So, where is it? Where's the bunny? Well, you'll see. We're gonna get to the bunny if I just turn my camera this way, face directly south. There's the bunny. Let's go get it. Bunny, don't run away from me. No, it almost ran away from me. Alright, we got to the bunny. Now we're gonna make our way back. But first, we're gonna grab a few chests for marathon safety reasons. So, while we're doing this, I'm gonna check out the chat. How's everyone doing? How's everyone enjoying the run so far? It's late night for me, so like commentary is probably not the best right now. So we kick the chest and open it and get money. That's the nice thing about opening chests with Bunny, is that it just kicks it right open. Yeah, we do need that money chest because we're going to be needing every bit of extra money we can get from the full snaps. Yep. And once we cross that quicksand trench, we will be saying goodbye to the bunny, because we will no longer need the bunny. Plus, it's actually slower to ride the bunny than to just sprint the rest of the way back. Alright, save goodbye to the bunny. We will no longer be eating him. But now we can enjoy more of the music in Rogue. And this is also the last you'll hear of Rogue in the speedrun. So savor the music while you can. And I don't think I got into an encounter in Rogue, so if we did, the encounters on Rogue play a remix of the first of the battle theme for Chief. It's a really nice remix as well. So have a listen if you get a chance to listen to the OST of this game. It's fantastic. One of my favorite remixes. Actually, started for a second. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's the thing I'm worried about with my internet is if I'm able to sustain a stream at midnight, streaming at 4,000 bit rates. Hopefully, I don't disconnect. But so far, it seems like everything's okay on my end. But oh, I'm seeing some stuttering now. So hang on for a moment while I backtrack. We're experiencing some turbulence in our backtracking right now, so please stay tuned. Because what we're gonna do is sleep on our way between worlds, just like we've been doing all game long. First, we're gonna see some Welch. Welch is angry. Goodbye, Welch. Sign rooms. And head to Eos. And also, once we're off Eos, we get our new party member, Sarah. So Sarah here is going to be named someone very special. Especially. HP boost to Sarah first. We're going to be equipping some stuff. Skill boost. Another one. Turn off offensive spells and buffs. Skill boost. Status. Sarah Duran, her name will be... Shoutouts to our boy Ifair, who is now playing Ocean Anamnesis. He ran Star Ocean until the end of time during RPG Limit Break in 2017. And we're also going to be doing a little bit of item creation here, just for some marathon safety. Unequip Bacchus' gear, because we have access to synthesis now. This is what we gain when Ifer joined the party. And we're going to synthesize some health seeds because we need as much HP as we can on big PPMA. Put it back, set my formation, and let's see. And I should be okay now. Alright, so now we're going to rest until arrival. And upon returning to Eos, it turns out something really, really bad happened. And we'll see once we are able to access control to our characters. So, the beast got destroyed. And apparently the culprit is us humans. Because we're very ungrateful, and we bit the hand that fed us. Because the Eldarians actually, they backseat us in developing technology. Now we're just taking it for ourselves. But these humans, they're not responding to us. They spray painted the ships in black and red, and they're just like undetected. They just showed up out of nowhere. So our goal here is to find out more about these mysterious humans. And presumably everyone on the base, or almost everyone on the base, is dead. So pour one out for our base members. So we're going to be taking a safety save here. Going to make another safety save here just in case. And use our pasta pepperoncino on Vic PPMA. And let's hope that this fight goes well. This fight is very infamous among Star Wars 4 players. It's because this fight is very, very tough. Because these guys actually do have buffs. Not very visible buffs on PS3 version, because PS3 version is kind of bugged in the sense that you're not able to see buffs very easily. Ooh, are we going to lose defense? No, that's good. So Phantoms here. These guys are actually Phantoms. They're lifeless forms, and they're bad news. They're very aggressive as well. But they're beating us up. The unfortunate thing about the HD version, at least with my settings, is their Danmaku is invisible. So you can't actually see these bullets shooting out from their pistols. So Danmaku's kind of insane right now. Well, we have to apply Mind Flare liberally because, well, as you may have noticed, Mind Flare is very good for boosting the attack power of your symbology. And the nice thing about symbology, as I mentioned earlier, is it ignores the target's defense. So it deals consistent damage, which is exactly what we need for this fight. So here we go. That's why we're using Ice Needles here. We're using what's left of our Blackberries and the Riot Potions to restore MP for Emiria. I'm gonna use Blackberries one more time, because his face here is pretty much our item chucker. That's all he's useful for this fight. And I guess for that too, to add some hit stun to Phantom Leader. Because if you leave the Phantom Leader alive, he will massacre everyone. That's not fun. Ooh, that's kind of dangerous right now. I'm gonna use the big berries on Sarah, because we really don't want these guys to go after Sarah, who's going to be healing us from the fight. We gave HP boost to Sarah so she can take a few very strong hits. Gonna give the big berries to pick the PPMA. I should have restored some MP with Mind Flare, or restored Mind Flare's effect on the area. Now we're gonna use a Riot Potion. So as long as we have Bacchus and our big PPMA and Hyper tanking hits, we should be fine. So you see with the Riot Potions, we have infinite MP status. So our MP is not going down because of that. At this point, Phase really doesn't do enough damage to justify using him. A nice alternate strat is like have Phase learn Ice Needles and also cast it with him. But the risk of him being targeted by the Phantoms was too high to consider. That's why I decided against using a Phase here, offense-wise. Ooh, unfortunately that's going after... Yeah, I was a little worried about that. And we're gonna have to revive Phase, because we're gonna need his item chucking. Unfortunately, Bacchus is also defeated. Gonna need to restore some Riot Potion. this is bad. Oh, this is actually bad. Okay. Fortunately, I wanted to target one of the right Phantom Soldier. Unfortunately, I might need to use a DM bomb to clean up here. That's okay. Alright, we should be okay. Phantom Soldier moved away. That's good. Yeah, Danmaku is kind of insane. Let's see. Blueberries on you. Okay, we're gonna revive Bacchus as well. And get ready for the last wave. The last wave is very, 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 very tough. Because not only do we have one, we have two Phantom Leaders to deal with. So our goal is to get rid of the Phantom Leaders as quickly as possible. Ooh, that was bad. So Phantom's fight is not going very smoothly, unfortunately, right now. I think I can sacrifice the Yam Bomb here. Wow, 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 wow. We can take care of one of these guys. Alright, that's good. Alright, this is the last wave of the Phantom Soldier's fight. Alright, we need Phase. Phase to be alive for sure. We're going to actually do some damage to Bicycles. Switch Yuria with Reimu. Revive Bacchus. And I think I'm gonna sacrifice my big berries here. Ooh, that's not good. Okay. Hey, a little safe here. Because I'm never sure of what guys will do. There we go. That's the Phantom's fight. So, I hope I get enough experience for Phase here. This should be okay, I think. Alright, so these Phantoms here, they don't stop. They keep continuing until Crow and our new guy, Aramat, but that's not his name. We're gonna rename him right now to Claude. Shoutouts to Claude, who commentated Super Mario RPG at HDQ 2019. So, that's it. That's it. That's him right there. Claude V. Thanatos. That is our reward for finishing the Phantom's fight. And now, there's another Grigori on Eos that we have to take care of, which is why Claude and Crow are here. And we pretty much agreed upon that we, without Crow, can take care of the Grigori ourselves, while Crow can finish up matters on his own end. We wish we got Crow as a party member. He's cool. He's pretty much like a dual-wielding lightsaber guy. But, unfortunately, we're not able to get him as a party member. Would have been nice for him to be a party member, but it's okay. We're gonna be buffing Claude a little bit. So if HP manuals, let's see. Boosting some skills, HP boost, critical hit. We'll also need to power up Comet Impact because we're going to be using Miracle for the next fights. And Miracle is a very, 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 very important character for us. Let's see. Diabolic Edge, Diabolic Edge, Diabolic Edge. Another strike, critical hits. I already have Combat Impact. I need to change up the formation. And we're also going to use a very, very particular thing. And that thing is our skill. The skill is actually Stealth. Stealth is required in order to skip the encounter that everyone runs into when they first fall through here, the Mega Insect Warren. Alright, it's not guaranteed because it depends on the direction that bug walks. But it's a 5% chance of that happening, of bad luck. Yeah, that's a very, very niche use of stealth. That's overall faster than just encountering. Just taking the encounter and running away. So yeah, we're in good shape now. Mega Insect Warren is one of the worst places in the game for speedrunning due to the very narrow corridors. And the enemies here are placed in such a way that they're going to block these corridors very, very easily. Oh, it's up here. Spider-Man got out of our ways. That's good. Oh, and twice. Nice. That's very good luck for Mega Insect Warren. That was the worst section, too, of the Mega Insect Warrens. That's because the corridors there are so painful to get through. Alright, so we need to unequip Bacchus' stuff, give the Bacchus the stuff to Miracle, heal up, and change our tactics to Goose as leader. We're also going to grab a chest here, the glow sticks, because this game also has a status effect, which is essentially the same as full active mode in Star Ocean Free, except it's a negative status effect. So if you use a skill, you're stuck in place and you use the skill from your position you're standing. So I'm going to make another safety save here, because this boss here has potential of going wrong, of going south real easily. So we're going to use Hamburg Steaks on the guys, and hopefully we won't run into a bad fight. We're going to use Claude and Elmagoose, classic pair by the way, to get rid of, oh my god, the Claude was defeated. Claude was unfortunately defeated. Ooh, and Silence. Oh, we're gonna need to use the red herb. And we'll also need to unequip the Ancient Cannon as well. Oh, ooh. We're gonna need to heal up Sarah. And you need to be very careful. This guy is weak to wind attacks. Ooh, Sarah actually took some hits. This is not good, this is not good. Sarah's incapacitated, so you gotta be very, very careful how we approach this fight. Silence too. It's not good. So our backup damage dealer, because we got the Hurricane Claws on Sarah's Silence, that's not good. is Aramat. When we combine the efforts of Aramat and Miracle, we should be able to beat Armorous Manifest fairly easily. Unfortunately, since Sarah, or since Ifer is out of commission, you gotta be careful here. I don't want to run out of ooh, that's weird. Our focus right now is defeating Armorous Manifest. I could revive Kazuko, but I think Sarah's in a good distance. Oh no! Oh no, that is not good. We gotta take care of these guys. We have to take care of these guys. That is very not good. Yeah, this fight is very, very, very gnarly. It's fine. Gotta take care of these ads. Ooh, we may need to reset. Again? Again? Oh, I'm a little worried actually. EM bomb. Okay, okay, I think we can still recover from this. We can still recover. We're running out of fresh stages though, so that's what I'm worried about. Miracle's use is done here. Alright, Dermoterra, come after me. Alright, and now we can use an EM bomb. Hopefully finish it off. Alright, so we should be fine now. Alright. Alright. We're good. That was a bit rough. Because Armorous Manifest, you have to blindside her in order to reveal her weak spot. Armorous Manifest is weak to wind, and the Hurricane Claws we got, combined with Combat Impact at level 10, Critical Hit at level 10, and Miracle. She does up to 40,000 damage if hits. That's why we used her for that fight. Unfortunately, Armorous Manifest could have summoned those Dermoterras, even if there was one left. So that's why that fight is very, very, very tricky. But we survived. That's all that matters. So that was the Grigori from the second Grigori in Eos, and we're done with Eos now. We grab the regeneration symbol, which restores 3% MP passively in battle. So we don't have to worry about restoring one character's MP with Blackberries, because the regeneration symbol does that for us. Alright, so because FaZe was actually replaced with... No, the LCC was replaced with Claude. Claude is now going to be assigned a room. The Claude will not room with anyone but onions. So So that's why I set it up specifically so that onions can room with the LCC, and then when Claude replaces the LCC, then we can set up the rooming easily that way. And this is the last time that we can get to be lazy bums to sleep between worlds. We're gonna do that right now. And finally, we'll be on our way to EN2. We were not on our way to EN2 an hour ago. Because we warped to Earth, and we blew up Earth. That was our grand side adventure before going to Star Ocean 1 world. Now, here we are finally at EN2. I'm going to be grabbing a few safety measures, such as revives, because while not too dangerous, the upcoming boss can be troublesome. So EN2 is a very technologically advanced world. The world's actually like it's like a Borg diamond. Except much cooler looking. Because it's all smooth. Alright, so we've talked to this guy called X, who is essentially the core of EN2. And pretty much tells us the truth about these Grigori, the weak spot bosses we've been fighting. And it turns out that these guys are lifeless beings. It's pretty much an early antivirus program. And we're pretty much a big problem, and the antivirus wants to delete us. So here we are, we're fighting an antivirus program. I guess. That's the easiest way to go about it. So, we triggered this quest to get our next elemental disintegration ring, because apparently a Grigori actually invaded us after speaking with X. And the normal way to the sanctuary is blocked, so we have to use the old road. But before we do that, we must do a little bit of shopping. I'm going to be grabbing a safety chest as well as do some shopping. Right, so I made our way to the secret gallery, the invitation gallery, to grab the Grim Reaper, which is a nice weapon upgrade for Aromat, because it deals dark elemental damage, and the next boss is weak to dark elements. We're going to restock on some fresh stages here, just because we need to be safe. You never know what'll happen with the next boss. And also grab this chest here, because extra money is good money. 19,000 full, not too shabby. And I then buy some skill manuals for the rest of the game. Convert and Berserk. Not the manga, but the skill manual. Alright. And now we will continue the quest of getting the Wind Ring. So what we do is, after getting the Wind Ring quest started, we examine this grave, examine this tree, and get the Wind Ring. The nice thing about the Wind Ring is that it's fully charged, so we don't have to go to an external source and recharge it for money. And we're also going to play a little nice game here with this chest. So we're going to get the Bizarre Fruit. And the Bizarre Fruit has an RNG chance of giving you a random stat-up seed. And the seed we want to get is the Potent Attack Seed, because when we use it for item creation, it gives attack a 7% bonus. It's nerfed for the Xbox 360 version, where the Potent Attack Seeds would give plus 20% attack boost, which is kind of broken. Technically, we don't have to complete the quest in order to continue the game. We can just use the Wind Ring as is, and we can just continue just fine. But for a marathon, why not complete the quest and get the rewards, which is XP and Party SP. if I run into an encounter here, this is where I start using the scrambling units. Actually, no. Mega Insect Warren was the first place to start using the scrambling units, but this place also. Because the enemies are such high level, like if you try to run away, like normally, it's not gonna be very fast. It's just like in Final Fantasy IX, where we don't use the Dane's Flee. It's not gonna be easy to run away. Or sometimes we cast Carbuncle to buffer a run in the Desert Palace in Final Fantasy IX. Fortunately, we don't have something like that, but we do have the scrambling units. So there's two routes to go through the old world of the Sanctuary. The first route involves using the Earth Ring, which was on Old Earth, but you can get the Earth Ring if you missed it on EN2. But you have to recharge the Earth Ring, and that means you have to pay money for it. And also, you have to account for the recharge time, getting the ring, and then actually going through the animation of using the Earth Ring. I timed it, and it ends up being even with the route I just took. So it really wasn't worth using the Earth Ring, because it's a lot of effort to save no time at all. So here we grab another chest. More money. More money is always good. And hopefully, or hopefully not, we don't get an encounter. Well, if we don't get an encounter in this world, I'll tell you what's so special about the encounters here, for those who have not played this game before. First, we must do a little bit of menuing. So let's convert Claude, Berserk him, and Berserk Reimu. Equipment C, unequip all that stuff from Miracle. Give the attack stuff to Claude. Skill boost, HP boost. Enhance to buff our attacks. Berserk. Chain combos on you. Sonic form. Rage and Berserk. We got Termination, which is a very, very useful skill for us. And we're going to change our skills for Aramat to Unholy Maelstrom, which is a very, very powerful move that, well, inflicts two very powerful swings of the scythe. Alright. Let's see. And that's all for that menu. Oh, and let's see. We'll turn off fairy healing as well. Safety safe, just in case. Oh, there's an encounter. Do you recognize the intro for that fight? That's the same music as from Star Ocean, the second story. Yes. This world is linked to Star Ocean 2 in some way. Because the Morphous are very similar to the Nedians. Or Nedians, however you pronounce them. That's a real treat for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed that little bit of Star Ocean 2 music there. So this next boss here is Braccio. Her gimmick is that she has a bunch of spawns that we need to take care of. There are 4 invincible spawns. One of them is still alive. And once we defeat all the non-invincible spawns, she will take some time to regenerate the spawns, and that is when we strike. Like that. And in that time, we blindside her to deal some extra damage and hopefully get a 1 cycle on this. Fortunately, we might not be able to get 1 cycle. So we do buffer a Sonic Form and Termination to get rid of the spawns immediately as they regenerate. So that's why I put them onto manual, Reimu and Big PPMA, because their attacks do nothing to Kokabio. So that's why they're kind of dead weight here. Because Kokabio is weak to dark elements, and Grim Reaper is dark elements. We apply that liberally and defeat Kokabio easily with Unholy Maelstrom. And that's Kokabio for you. Yeah. I named the characters as if I were doing a donation incentive. Because this is a marathon style run, and I want to preserve the marathon style run as much as I can. That's why I named the characters a certain way. So, we have defeated Kokabio, and now it's our way to... We're on our way to the final stretch of the game. So we're gonna do some shopping before that. Buy some Thunder Charms, Stallion Snaps, Anti-Silence, Anti-Bumpkin. Do some equips here. Unequip some stuff. Re-equip certain things. All the Stallion Snaps and Anti-Silence, and the Anti-Pumpkin. Sell some goodies like Self-Destructors 3000, Lazard's Flask, Monster Jewel. I didn't sell the Fire Armlet? What? That's weird. Anyways. Sell all this. I might have missed something, but I'm not too worried about that. So, buy a Saint's Bow. Play the Lotto with Bizarre Fruit. Potent Health Seeds, that's okay now. Potent Health Seeds is totally fine. Alright, so we're gonna buy some Resurrection Elixirs because we have the money. And we'll be on our way. Resurrection Elixirs are extra safety nets. Because it's good to have more revive items for the final stretch of the game. But before that, we're gonna need to do some item creation. So yeah, the secret to Kokabio was to beat her up while she's regenerating her spawns, because that's her actual weak point. She's supposedly a perfect form of the Grigori, but that orange ball is not so perfect because of that. So now, we've identified the source of the Grigori and the Phantoms, and we've come up with a plan with EN2 just on our own, just us and EN2, to take on the Phantoms. They're located in a world called Nox Obscurus, and it seems like it's going to be a very difficult operation. But first, I have some item creation. Saint's Bow, actually, yeah, Saint's Bow and Compact Stun Bomb, because the final boss in this game is actually not immune to stun, which is pretty good, I gotta say. So we're going to be taking advantage of that. We're also going to be taking advantage of the attack seeds we got earlier. So you notice that we got the attack seeds from the Black Eagle. That is because we got it as an Anthropology drop, which is the reason why I bought Anthropology from Edge in the very beginning of the game. I only found this out when I didn't get the attack seeds when I was doing my speedrun attempts. And every guide in the world said Black Eagle dropped attack seeds, but on my speedruns I wasn't able to get them. It's because it was an Anthropology drop, is why. So just level 1 Anthropology is enough. Alright. So we're just gonna make our weapons a little bit stronger. With Reimu and Claude. And then prep our gear for the final 2 bosses. The reason why we bought Thunder Charms is so that... Let's see. It's because the final bosses cast Thunder symbology. Thunder Flare and Plasma Cyclone, which is a full-screen Thunder symbol. And because if we set the Thunder Charm onto our armor, it allows us to absorb Thunder-based HP damage. So that's why we bought the Thunder Charms. Now make the final boss a little bit easier. And we got the potent health seeds, so I'm gonna put them on... Who am I gonna put them on? Maybe, sure. Might as well. And that's all our item creation. So yeah, that item creation was just prep for the end of the game. So, time to commence operation to invade Nox Obscurus. We're gonna skip 3 cutscenes. These cutscenes are infamous in the PS3 version because if you let it play, your controller will turn off. Oh my god, I can't speak tonight. Because I think the PS3 controller has a 30-minute timer from the moment you set it down. So that's why. Alright, I need to dump I'm gonna dump a fresh stage because there's a chest in this area. Oh my god. Oh, ooh, wow. This guy was next to me. Alright, we gotta use our scrambling units pronto. Oh my god. Because these guys are a stronger version of the Phantoms we fought. And we're in no capacity to fight these guys. So that's why we must run away pronto. They're just gonna massacre us if we leave them alone. Or if we try to fight them without our equips. So here we got more Void Recovery units because the Void status, as you saw in the Guardian Beast fight, it can be inflicted on us as well, and it will notify any buffs and debuffs that this character has currently. So it's very annoying for us. That's why we got items that cure the Void status. Shoutouts to Void of 2019. And here, these RNG bubbles will take us to our next places. So it's RNG on these bubbles when they spawn, unfortunately. Unless there's something else that I don't know about for these bubbles. Right, we need to take them to get to one certain stretch. There's 2 ways around Nox Obscurus to get to the final area. Oh, this is the final planet in the game, by the way. That path with the water bubble is a bit shorter. Like, even though you have RNG, it's much shorter than the other path, which is a very long and winding. A lot of sprinting is involved. So these electric crystals, they actually disable you from using skills. But you can use items. You just can't use skills. So you have to use your physical attacks in order to win. If you get to encounter while you're under the influence of those crystals there. And the way to break those crystals is you need a Thunder Ring to do that. But it's inconsequential to us, so we just skip through it anyways. So here, turns out that when we broke through Nox Obscurus' defenses, Crow sacrificed himself. And those are the remains of his ship, the Aquila. Oh yeah, one nice thing about the cutscenes that we skipped is, well, Deputy Director Shimada, his steak was cooked. So, I'll just leave it at that. It's now cooked. Burnt to a crisp. Apparently he's also very, very notoriously good in Animesis. That's kind of funny. Anyways, this is Palace of Creation, one of my favorite areas in the game in terms of music. A really nice final dungeon track. So have a listen to it if you get a chance to. Oh my god. Alright, I was afraid of these guys. So, escape. But yeah, these asteroids, they have these energy doorways, and it's not RNG on where to connect, but it's very confusing the first time that you go through this casually. So the doorways actually connect to another asteroid on that space-like area. So you gotta know which ones connect where in order to get to your desired destination. And, well, we got Donkey Kong there. Red Donkey. That was a bad RNG formation on that map. Donkey Kong is kind of mobile, and it's pretty fast. And he's big. So I was lucky I did not get into an encounter with Donkey Kong there. So the gimmick to this place is, some places are time frozen, and you have to free the pendulums in order to resume time by stepping onto the pendulum and reactivating time. This one was frozen by ice, so we used the fire ring there. The first one, we just had to step on it, and time was resumed. Here we get a very, very important chest, attack boost. We're going to use the attack boost manual on Claude, because Claude's going to be our main damage dealer, because he's going to use his Nether Strike skill. Because the final bosses are actually immune to darkness, but Claude has a skill with Nether Strike, which is Fire Elemental, and the final bosses don't have immunity to fire, so we're going to be using that as our main source of damage. So here we get the Serpent Staff, which is going to be needed to unlock the final pendulum, Area 7, in Area 7. Here we have Pierre the Clown. Shoutouts to the clown in Lufia 2. Shoutouts to Lufia 2 as well. The Lufia 2 Ancient Cave tournament or competition is going to be happening, I think, after RPG Limit Break. Ancient Cave is a very fun watch, so go give a watch to all the Ancient Cave Brothers, because Ancient Cave is really nice. Here we have our final chest in the game, the Vulcan Charger, this Charger, which is Thunder Elemental and is a Bacchus weapon. Use attack boost on Claude, equip all of our good stuff. Skill boost. We're going to be skill boosting Enhance, if not, Restoration. HP boost, Berserk, Rage, attack boost, and Nether Strike. Okay, so going to be equipping Determination if we haven't already, and equip Nether Strike on Claude, formerly known as Aeromats. We need to turn off Blast Hurricane, because that's an offense spell, and we don't want Sarah's AI to cast magic. That's why. So, change Remu's AI controller, because we're going to use this Berserk skill. And since blindsiding is no longer viable, we're changing our beats to burst to increase the critical rates, because there are some passive skills associated with the different types of beats. Unless you're using beat neutral for stats, which is not advisable because the passive skills from beat S or beat B are very, very useful. I think that was everything for the second last menu in the game. So, did I see the clown there? The clown might be very oh yeah, he's there, he's there. The clown could actually climb up the stairs and just run behind me. I've had that happen a few times. And the clown is a very nasty enemy. Like, it does so much damage with his moves. Like, a lot of very dangerous hits as well. And they just, because we're so weak, they'll just tear through us like paper. So our last safety save in the game, in the speedrun, and we're well on our way to the final bosses. So, our second last boss in the game, Apostle of Creation. Very mean looking guy. He's the life form behind creating all these phantoms and Grigori. So the strategy for this fight is Berserk and buff our guys with Enhance. And pretty much go ham with Nether Strike and Ramu's arrow skills, Sonic Horn. This might be a very fast fight, actually. Alright, I think the puzzle, yeah, that was a very fast fight. Very good fight. Yeah, Claude is dealing so much damage with Nether Strike. It's crazy. It's crazy good. So it turns out that the puzzle of creation is actually DLCC, i.e. phase. So, yep, the final boss of the game is actually DLCC. How's that for a plot twist for you? So here we're going to be doing our last buffs for our skills, and we'll be buffing our moves as much as we can. So Termination, and we're buffing Termination to max, buffing Nether Strike to max, HP boost to max, and we're gonna go for this area. If you go to this very specific regions of this map, you're gonna refight the Grigori that you fought earlier, and you don't want to do that, because that's just essentially waste time. So now we're on to the final boss. The final boss here, Satanael. You may know that name from another game, but I'll just keep it at that. So same strategy as before, we just buff everyone with Sarah, while we have our main damage dealers, Berserks. So this guy has two phases. We've got the Gems phase, and and his next phase, once we defeat all the gems. So this guy has 4 gems. A yellow gem that inflicts all status effects in the game, a green gem that inflicts, that has a vacuum effect, a purple gem which inflicts the void status, that is what we don't want to see, and a red gem that inflicts pure damage to us, the incineration gem. So once we deplete all the gems, HPs, we'll be on our way to the second phase. We'll know when the HP reaches 0. Wow, I can't believe I dodged that. So, the only way the gems receive damage is if it's facing the southwest direction, or if it's on the bottom position. So the final boss has to use the gem. Ooh, wow, a stun, a very lucky stun. So, oh, another very lucky stun. Alright, we're on to phase 2. So phase 2, Satanael, we just need to deplete his HP now. Plasma Cyclone, okay. And we got Convert for a very good reason. Converts actually allows us to restore our MP by sacrificing our HP in the process. So one use of Convert actually saves us a lot of menuing, restoring MP. So that's very nice. When the final bosses uses Plasma Cyclone like that, it's actually very, very good. So time is about to come up when the death animation for the final boss plays. Ooh. Whoa, 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 whoa. I was about to say, I did not expect Aramat to survive that attack, but he used the second one after that. Ooh. So our main goal is to inflict as much damage as we can in any way possible. Oh, wow. We can avoid extinction if we're in rush mode, because rush mode ignores hit stun. Oh, and he uses a very, very large AoE attack called Dawn of the Cosmos when he's halfway depleted in HP. So he's almost dead. Focus is out of MP, that's okay though. We've almost got him. Am I out of range? I am out of range. That's good. Wow, I think I was barely out of range of Dawn of Cosmos there. But it shouldn't take long until the final boss is defeated. And time. Wow. That is Star Ocean Last Hope 4K and HD Remaster on PS4. So the ending takes quite a long time, like 30 minutes, and even with a skippable section, so we're not going to play through the ending. So hope you guys enjoyed the run, and thank you to Ghost Kumo for hosting, and I'll see you another time. Thank you so much for hosting me, and enjoy the rest of the marathon, everyone. I'll be signing off now.
紙一重さ、君もすごく強かったよ。